So delivery point, the taxi butler for deliveries. That's probably the best way to describe it. So I'm going to go through an example of like a fried chicken shop. So they're basically available on Just Eat. For those of you that don't know, the majority of the takeaways on Just Eat, they basically Just Eat doesn't take care of deliveries as of yet. We're here, they're starting to, but for right now, the majority of these stores are having to hire a full-time driver or part-time driver to sit outside their shop. And anytime they get an order through Just Eat, they get him to go and deliver it. So that's kind of what they're doing today. So obviously, one of the biggest benefits of Delivery Point is it removes the hassle and headache of that takeaway having to establish a delivery network by using a taxi company to deliver their stuff. The way I like to describe it is it's like a pay-as-you-go solution for that takeaway, rather than having to employ someone full-time. This is it's much more efficient for them just to pay per order and pass that to a taxi company. So let's go through the example of how they would use Delivery Points on their side. I'm going to ask Tilly to assist me, and Tilly and George, if Tilly can share her screen and we can have a look at the Android app. This is an Android app. You can give it to them on their phones. You can provide them with a tablet. It's whatever way is easier for them to use it. So as you can see here, this is the fried chicken store, Chicken Cottage, for example. Your local delivery network of drivers provided by ABC Cars, for example. So they've just received an order on Just Eat. The customer's paid on Just Eat, could be through their own website, for example, and now they want to get it delivered. So they just tap on Request Delivery at the bottom, and they type in the mobile phone number. It says buyer details, enter a mobile phone number so that we can send a text to the buyer with a tracking link so they can track the status of their order. And as you can see, whilst the manager of Chicken Cottage is typing in the number of the customer, it's got like a CLI built in within it. So it accounts for CLI for regular customers, and that saves them a lot of time having to enter the name. As you can see, the name's automatically populated. And if you go to the next screen, Tilly, the delivery address is also automatically pre-populated. So very convenient for them to use. It's all about making it as simple as possible, the feedback that we've received so far. Order number, they would have their own kind of order numbers. This number would be attached on the driver companion so that when the driver walks into Chicken Cottage, he says, I'm here for order number 83. Okay, and next. So value of the shopping. So at this stage, the Chicken Cottage can enter the value of the shopping. So in this case, I'm just going to ignore this toggle which says total value already paid. Oh, sorry, I'm going to turn that on, sorry. So obviously they've received their order through the Just Eat website, the thing's already paid for. So we're just going to toggle that on, and you type in the value just for a reference, £40, and it says delivery charge for this address is going to be £3.20. So this would be like an account customer for you guys. You would invoice them every week or every month, all of the delivery charges added up together. And place order. And the delivery is added to your to-do list. So they've put the delivery in the system, and Chicken Cottage now get the fryer open, get the deep fryer, I don't even know what equipment they use, get the chips ready, get the cans of Coke lined up, massive order, £40, and here we go, it needs to be to do. When that order's cooked, it looks like it's going to be ready in about 5-6 minutes. You come into this section here, you can see the order that we just placed for £40. And you can have an option, order delivery now or order for the future. I'm going to say it's going to be ready in 5 or 6 minutes. Let's order delivery now. So as you can see, it will then move from the to-do section to the scheduled. So to-do section means that I'm still cooking it. It's not ready yet. Once you've placed the order, it will go to the scheduled section. At that stage, automatically, it will go as a job to your Ghost system. And schedule basically means it's kind of on the active screen. And when the dispatcher gets the job and dispatches it to the driver, it will automatically move till he's just done that in the background. It will from the scheduled section to the delivering section, and in the background on Ghost, and manually dispatched it to a car. Obviously, you could set this on auto dispatch for whatever reason. So as you can see here, it's delivering. So that means what that means is that the driver's on his way to pick it up. The details is Silver Skoda Octavia. This is the number plate, and he's going to be asking for order number 83 when he turns up. So if someone turns up in a black Toyota and he says 83, say, no, you're a liar, mate. It's a Silver Skoda Octavia. Okay, and obviously when the driver completes the journey, swipes through the job, obviously it will then move out of this section and go into the previous orders section. Before I go into that section, I wanted to show you quite a cool feature we've got as well in the middle. It says check delivery price. So let's say you just want to know how much it would be to deliver to a particular area that's maybe far away. The takeaway can put in a particular address and it'll provide them with a quote. And once again, this quote is linked to your pricing. So you would set up a separate account in your Go system and you would set your pricing rules and it would automatically pull that from the system so they can get quotations as well. If they just want to check, for example, so they can do that live when they're on the phone to a customer even, for example. Past orders. So past orders will show you obviously previous orders. As you can see, Tilly's completed this order. So 83 has come here, it's been completed. She's swiped through the driver companion on the back in the background. And you can also see cancelled orders as well, just as like a little job archive. So the second scenario, so that's the first scenario, takeaway, taking the payment online through Just Eat or through their own website or over the phone, whatever way they take payment and take thing. And that's great and that's brilliant. And that might be a great way to get into deliveries. Second scenario, there's a lot of shops out there, local convenience stores, florists, butchers, groceries. People need things like milk, eggs, bread from these kind of places. They're not set up like Tesco and Marks and Spencer to do all of these delivery stuff. These are kind of local independents in your local area. And there's an immediate need for these for people that are isolating, people that are at risk or vulnerable. Me personally, I'm not at risk, hopefully, but I would much rather deliver my groceries, have them delivered rather than having to go to the supermarket and wear a mask and wear gloves. And it's like a problem, So I'd much rather have stuff delivered. So these guys will want to deliver, but they have no way of taking the payment. So in this scenario, we've developed a feature within Delivery Point, which will allow you to handle the payment on their behalf. And we're going to show you how this works. We go to the next slide. Okay, so Co-op Cheadle, for example, you've made a partnership with the Co-op in Cheadle, local store, and it says, and they basically, you've made this a partnership with them and they've put on their social media now, our Cheadle home delivery service is now live. We've partnered with ABC Cars to deliver things straight to your door within 1 hour. Amazing. Call us today to basically go through that. So we're going to show you an example of what would happen in the case where you're taking the payment on behalf of, say, a local convenience store. So go on to the Delivery Point app, and I say request delivery. Obviously, enter the mobile phone number. So probably a lot of these are going to happen over the phone. So you take the call. Hello, I would like milk, eggs, and some bread. No problem. Take their number. Put in the details here. Put in the order number. That typically the order number is something that they would come up with, the convenience store or the takeaway, for their reference. Okay, so you remember that toggle that we made last time, which says total value or paid. We're going to do that off now because the total value has not been paid. And we're going to type in the value of the groceries, the milk and the eggs and the bread. I love milk. I've never loved milk and appreciated milk now more than ever. It's come to £40 because I have like 10 bottles of milk. And the total amount comes to £43.20. At this stage, that button, if you remember, before it said something different. Now it says send payment request because the payment's not been taken yet. So if you say send payment request, the consumer will receive a link. A payment link has been texted to the buyer via SMS. So we're going to show that later on. But for the sake of this demo, we're going to come into this section here, track orders. And the section that I ignored before, paying. So these are customers that the Co-op in Cheadle has taken orders for, and they've been texted the link, but they've not paid. So obviously I've not paid until he's not paid. These are two orders that have not paid. And the idea is that Tilly now is going to go in the background. She's going to pay on her SMS link, which we'll show you in a second. And once she pays, it will automatically move to the to-do section. So the co-op manager in Cheadle said, right, they've paid, it's moved to the to-do section, get the 10 bottles of milk, get the eggs, get the bread, put it in a bag. Once it's in a bag, you click on the order for 96 and you say order delivery now. Okay, and you can also, by the way, and it'll go to the scheduled section. And the rest of the demo, I'm sure you guys get the picture. It goes to scheduled, you dispatch, and then it goes to delivering. Perfect, so that's basically how it would work if you're taking the payments. We're actually going to show you as well what happens on the customer side as well, how the link is received and how they can track. So I really want to be able to track my milk and eggs and bread. Oh, and by the way, this also works for pre-bookings. So let's say there are lots of NHS staff that want to order groceries, but they're working from 9 till 5. So they want the groceries delivered at 8 p.m. So if you noticed, when I clicked order delivery now, there was an option below it which said 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or other. So you could say to people, the co-op in Cheadle, or the butchers, or the grocers, or whatever shop you've partnered up with, you could say, tell us when you would like it to be delivered, and that will automatically go into the Go system as a pre-booking for that particular time. So here's the customer experience. Pay for your order. They click on the link, for example, and that will open up a payment screen. Pay £43.20. Put in your card number. So we're going to put in a card number. It's not a real card, so no one takes screenshots. It's just a fake card. There's no money on it. Don't worry. But yeah, so we're just going to type in the card number, type in the expiry date, type in the security code, and that's going to basically take the payment from the consumer. Payment successful. Do you want to track your order? Track. And that will take you to a screen where the consumer can track the status of their order, as you would with Deliveroo or Just Eat, or with Domino's Pizza, for example. And it tells you each stage that is available at each stage of the order. Perfect. So we're going to go back to the PowerPoint, I believe. Perfect, and go to the next slide. So that's just an example. What I want to show you here is on the third screenshot, it says delivering 13 minutes away. So that is providing the consumer with a live ETA of their milk or of their fried chicken. So that's actually really cool. You actually don't get that with Just Eat, for example. We can get that obviously because we've got that within our system. Okay. So go to the next section. Payment. So you might be wondering, okay, brilliant, Hassan. You've described how it would work for a local, grocery store. I'm taking care of the payment, but what's actually happening? Where's that payment going? What's going on? So you take that payment of £43.20. That only goes to you. You're the merchant, you're the taxi company that's taking the payments. The customer pays via payment link, money arrives with the taxi company. At that stage, you would pay the driver, for example, out of that £3.20. That would just work as like a standard account job. So the driver would receive £3.20 in this example. The rest of the money is £40. In the example that I'm suggesting, you would charge the grocery store 10% of any order that they book with you. So the way that would work is you would receive £4 and they would receive £36. How do you get that £36 to the co-op in Cheadle? We've got a feature in our system called Driver ePay, where basically pay and you could use that feature. So what you could do is you could say to the co-op in Cheadle, here's a PayPal account, download the PayPal app, and I will, every 2 or 3 days, I will push the money to that account, or every day or every week, whatever the payment terms are, I will push the money to that account. A few other points to mention on this slide before we're moving on. The credit card transaction fees, they are paid for by you because you're the merchant. So what we suggest is if you're going to be charging 10%, 15%, whatever you charge should obviously cover the credit card transaction fee and obviously be enough for you to make some money, a reasonable amount of profit from this. Also, this payment facility works only with Judo Pay currently. So if you have Judo Pay, that's fine. You don't need to open up a separate account. If you don't use Judo Pay, then you would need to set up a merchant account with them. Chargebacks. Chargebacks, obviously, they would be your responsibility because you're the ones that are taking payments. So you would need to have some kind of agreed policy between you and the retailers. What happens with chargebacks? And if you do get a chargeback, you go to them and say, "Hey, look, here's a chargeback. You need to pay it." You know, maybe you say the retail takes responsibility of that. How to promote? So number one, the retailer, they've got an existing customer database. Definitely, they should be promoting this, you know, delivery to their customers. Also, if there are takeaways that are on Just Eat or Deliveroo or Uber Eats, these guys are charging, sorry, not Just Eat, Deliveroo and Uber Eats, these guys are charging like 25%, 30%, sometimes as much as 40% to handle the delivery. So there's a massive cost saving for someone that is on Just Eat and Deliveroo if he says to his customers, rather than doing that, use my website and I will deliver, and I only have to pay, you know, the taxi company 10 or 15%. So there is that massive advantage as well if you want to kind of approach people that are on Deliveroo and Just Eat on Uber Eats. Social media. So social media obviously goes without saying, one of the most powerful tools, especially these days. SMS marketing, you might want to put on your text back, for example, now delivering milk and eggs and essentials within 1 hour. What an amazing thing to be able to say to your customers on your text back. And finally, passenger apps. So something we're going to show next is how you can advertise this on your passenger app. So if we go to the next slide and demo that. So if we stop sharing until he can share the passenger app, we can show you how you could advertise this on your passenger app. So if you go to a passenger app, you'll notice now we've got a little basket in the bottom left-hand corner. So if we click on that basket, what that will do is it will say, you know, contact any of our partners below to place an order and we will take care of the delivery. Burgers, you know, grocery store, chicken, fried chicken, or just local convenience store. And you can see the different categories along the top there and filter, and just so the customers can see what kind of, you know, facilities that they can get that are delivered through their local taxi company. So it's a great way to be able to advertise this as well to your passengers that have already downloaded and using your app. Okay, brilliant. So if we jump back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so benefits. So number one benefit, biggest one, is additional work for drivers. So obviously, you know, we may be having reduced demand in this new normal. You know, even after we get past lockdown and all of these things, demand's still going to be probably slightly down. So, you know, this is a great way to be able to provide high period. Very adaptable, as I've shown you the two different modes, two different scenarios of use. Additional revenue streams, so it's also a great way to make money, you know, in terms of these taking percentages off these orders. A lot of, if people are doing grocery orders, then these will be going to be high amounts, you know, so if you take a percentage, you could amount to quite a lot of revenue. Build loyalty and long-term relationships with your locals. So this is a great way for you to reach out to your local community, and people are gonna remember that. People are gonna remember how you've behaved, you know, in these times, and it's a great way to be able to do that and build those links. Quick and easy, as we've shown you, just an Android app. So very, very simple. That's all they need, you know. You just need an Android phone, and that's it. That's all they need to be able to use it. And I hope you can see it's quite intuitive as well. And finally, it's free. So gone are the days of us charging, you know, £5,000 every time something comes out. You know, majority of our customers are now in our Platinum bundle, and that basically this product becomes free within that. So there's no charge for, you know, there's no fee to AutoCAD for this.
So we wanted to highlight one company that's actually really engaged heavily with this delivery point product, DG Cars out of Nottingham. And I have with me Dominic, who is one of the business development people at DG Cars. And I'm just going to do an interview style for a few minutes just to kind of explore and get an update. How are you, Dominic?
Today? I'm very well, thanks. Safa, how are you?
Excellent. Good to see you again. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Excellent. So Dominic, I guess it's just been about a week or so that you've deployed this product. You deployed this product in one shop to kind of just see how it works. I think the shop's name was Chunky Chicken. Can you tell me how that came about and how they're using it?
Well, I'll just roll back a couple of seconds. Hi
Sure.
to everybody. My name's Dominic Moyes. I'm Sales Director for DG in Nottingham. We operate roughly a 1,200 car fleet across a number of brands in the East Midlands region. And probably like anybody watching this, business has been hugely affected since lockdown. So this opportunity came to us. I think we've been talking to you, my director's been talking to you for a week or two. We rolled this out effectively last Thursday to a number of other outlets, but I'll come back to Chunky Chicken, which has been the test pilot case. And we've seen a phenomenal turnaround in terms of delivery and more so job ratios coming through from the product since we put it into the outlet. Yeah. To answer your question.
Yeah, okay, excellent. So I guess where are these jobs coming? How many jobs a day are coming through this? Once you put it in, I mean, the first couple of days, 2 or 3 days, or at this point?
The takeaway market's quite complex. And again, a lot of outlets have a number of food ordering platforms, Uber Eats, Just Eat, Food Hub, Deliveroo. So this is a model that kind of slots in, not necessarily to Uber Eats at the moment, nor Deliveroo, although they can turn off their delivery service. But we've tried it more so with Just Eats that aren't using their Stewart delivery platform, online orders through their own site or phone orders. And what we've seen is probably from an initial take-up of 2 or 3 trial runs while restaurants get the feet about the product, how it's worked. So we're probably doing about 30 deliveries a day from Chunky Chicken in particular, as it stands.
So you're doing 30 deliveries a day
Sure.
from one shop, basically, after 3 or 4 days of deployment.
We're probably 10 days into Chunky Chicken as the test pilot.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And those jobs are coming from, certainly people could be calling Chunky Chicken, but it seems to be most of it is coming from Just Eat, because Just Eat is kind of puts the order but relies on you to deliver. Why doesn't Chunky Chicken use their own drivers? Why are they using?
They have doing and were doing, but it's quite a complex market. And I've only had literally a week to try and upskill myself on everything and how it all works, the different commission rates, etc. But if you understand it, that a delivery driver might get paid minimum wage, £6, £7, £8 per hour. Maximum, they can deliver about 3 orders within an hour period, depending on postcode zones where they can go to. So they go out with 3 orders, they're gone for an hour. That's it. You either multiply up in delivery drivers, which potentially they can be stood around not earning anything or not taking any deliveries out, depending on how busy you are, or they're all gone and you can't produce any more orders for delivery. So
you're saying actually, it will actually, if you run out of delivery drivers, you simply can't sell food.
Yeah, and you've got options. You either switch off Uber Eats, temporarily disable it, or the other models, so you wait for the drivers to get back and you're preying on walk-ins to come in. Or this, in my opinion, and I think salespeople have got to buy into this as well, and your team have got to buy into it. And it just took a day or two to get your head around in terms of what we were offering, but now we can see quite nicely where this product fits. And it fits really well because now it allows productivity to increase. It allows the fact your delivery drivers may be out in the field, but you can continue to take delivery orders, to whatever extent that may be, because it's literally one order, one driver, dispatch, one order, driver, dispatched. So it's solved quite a nice problem to a few outlets that we're working with currently.
Excellent. And then how about Deliveroo? Although Deliveroo has their own drivers, but as I understand, it has an option where you can actually turn off the delivery part and they give you part of that commission and you could deliver yourself.
It does. And we're still, as I said to you, we're going to get some stats. We're going to get some figures, which I'm happy to share once we've got everything through, once we've done our analysis. But as I understand it, you can also do this with Uber Eats as well. So providing how well our trials go. And I'd like to say that since we've been trying it with Chunky Chicken for 10 days, by the end of this week, we'll have 15 devices into premises across Nottingham. And now through social media activity and the domino effect of everybody knowing each other, we're starting to get incoming calls within a week, which I find is fantastic, from a sales perspective. And we'll see, in a month's time, I'll be able to sit in front of people and go, this is what it's performed, this is what it's done, and this is why it's benefit to both you as an organisation and the outlets that take it up and use it.
So it sounds like you've been quite aggressive from a sales perspective. You've developed a model with 1 or 2 shops already have it in 15 different shops.
By the end of this week, yes.
By the end of this week.
Yeah.
And then, so what's the idea? I mean, are you viewing this as kind of a land grab type of situation? Because obviously, if you have your device in a shop, then obviously you would kind of take hold of that shop in terms of their deliveries for the future. Is that how you're viewing it?
We're viewing it on a number of levels. I think we have other things in the pipeline, but it's more, as you say, if we start to perform, we've then got a model we can roll out, whether that be across Nottingham, across Newark, across Derby, where we operate the brands, who knows from there. I think also it's just working out, is it feasible? You know, number one, and going back to your question, yes, we've been aggressive, but we've done a lot of work within a week period leading up to that. Making sure we've got the right people in place, onboarding the drivers, ordering hot food delivery bags, making sure drivers are comfortable with rates, having the team behind us setting up the accounts for all the takeaways. My lights have gone off, sorry. We've got a team behind us, making sure that everything is input into the system correctly. So it's been a bit more than just a sales team, off we go. We've done our own kind of teams training to make sure we all understand where the product sits, how it can benefit, why, what it means to us in terms of increasing our volume of workload. So there's been a lot of preparation prior to running off into the street, but I've got complete buy-in into the product now, where maybe I haven't had to be in this sector before, didn't really understand it, and I've had very quickly had to go get it on board. But yeah, it's good.
So, if you've got, so to conclude here, if you've got 30 jobs a day from Chunky Chicken, you're deploying now in 15 shops. My math tells me that's about 450 jobs a day, which potentially yeah. You're going to tell us how all this went, and that if you take that as 20 deliveries per day per driver, which would be high. Sure. That's 22 drivers basically that you could keep busy with this from 15 shops that you got signed up in 10 days.
Yeah.
I think this shows the potential of what you're doing, honestly. And if, you know, we'll find out in 2 or 3 weeks.
I think the potential is huge. You know, and people understand how to make money. They understand what costs them money. Managing delivery drivers is something in its own right. Cash floats. There's a whole number of scenarios out there that this product potentially fits into. And what we've also noticed, excuse me, in particular in Nottingham, is just for pure survival, a number of outlets who have no food ordering platforms that normally would be a destination dine-in venue have taken to the takeaway market. So again, just to create some kind of commercial revenue for themselves, we're able to tap into this market and offer a delivery solution as well. So it's not just confined to takeaways. There's a number of other streams we think we can get this product and make it work.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we'll really look forward to your adventure and tackling on a new market with new technology, and all going to learn from each other, aren't we? But
I'll be a master chef by the time I'm back. I'll know how to do.
Excellent. Well, if I want any fast food, I know where to go. I'm going to call you guys. Great. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.